Welcome back to Thinking Through. Today we're exploring digital twins, the hype surrounding AI. I think we're going to touch a little bit on that and what all of this is really revealing about how we see people and what we need to hold true as we're developing new technologies. And I'm here with Darwin Mastin. Darwin, welcome. I'm so happy you're on the show.
Great to be here, Allison. Thank you for having me.
Before we dive in, I would love for listeners to get a sense of you and what feels important to share about yourself.
What I saw over my time working in tech before starting my own business, I was at Meta for all those years. I worked in a small startup for a while. I worked in fintech. I worked in finance within that sector as well. That's where I started working on like automated finance and then generative AI and seeing that come in. And the immediate problems that I saw across the board first were everybody going, okay, great, AI is here. That's the solution. Now we can build X. And it's like, no. AI is not the solution. It's not a solution. It is a tool. It's a tool that we've had before. It's a tool that you already use in many different ways, and you never have a product that is that tool unless you're selling it as software. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not going to be that type of situations. What I saw a lot coming through was just a lot of not even misinformation or disinformation, just like null information across the board. Lots of assumptions about what this can do and where it's going to go and how it's going to happen. And a lot of that, I think, Allison, we've talked about that, is, in my opinion, the message was wrong in the beginning. Generative AI is not a consumer product. There is no more passive consumption with generative AI. It produces what you put into it. Everybody's now a builder. Nobody told any consumers that at the time. So therefore, for the first year and a half, if ChatGPT got it wrong, it's lying. Right. If Perplexity pulled up the wrong source, it's hallucinating. And I can't use it, you can't trust it. That's never going to happen. First of all, if you have any opinion that's about AI that's not from this week, please go re-educate yourself and stop spewing it, because it's probably wrong. So, not you too. I mean, like, everybody out there. Like, you have.
No, I want to jump in there. I've been in education for a while, and things get dropped in your lap, and then you have to figure out what it is. And then AI felt like that. It was just sort of here's the thing, no instruction. What I'm doing so much now in my courses at ASU, in my workshops and consulting and all the stuff is basically just teaching what is AI, and specifically around large language models and predictive text and all that, and what it is not. And because there's no education, there's no AI literacy around, and that's what we're trying to catch up, right now. And this is the thing. What was the driving need in the AI world to just drop it to us so fast without telling us what it is? Because now we unravel, we can't trust it, we can't do anything. There's all this even misinformation around AI and all that. Why does that happen? Why did that happen?
Move fast, break shit. Social media was the same thing. Social media dropped by Facebook. It was a huge social experiment. They created a solution without a specific problem. And this is also why you see every foundation model out there that has been out there that you go and you pay for to use and is like just a Gen AI model. What have they spent the last 3 years doing? Adding vertical after vertical, product after product, infrastructure after infrastructure. Why? Because without more and more data, it won't work. Without having all of your types of data and making assumptions about you, it's not going to feel personalized or custom to you in any way. And the thing is, it's not. It's not in that.
It's not designed to.
If it's designed to need more data, it's designed wrong in the first place. And that's where I came from.
Right.
I was working within this in fintech. I was moved from UX into prompt engineering. People didn't understand what was happening. They didn't understand AI strategy. I had to build up internal education at the company, training resources, all of that. But still, people were overworked with the new technology and just kept plowing forward. After doing that, I got permission. I spun up an AI coaching business on the side. I was really working with executives, nonprofits, educators, trying to help them so that they could leverage AI. And then I stopped because that was wrong. I spent a decade proving to companies that you don't have to change people to have a good product. And here I was coaching all these people on how they had to change to even just be able to use that product.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to work. And
Yeah.
if you look at development, it's like, okay, we have generative AI. How can we use it? All right, well, you have to be able to prompt it. Okay, well, I can prompt it. Well, now it needs all the context. So now I have to be able to context engineer it. And now it needs all of this other thing, memory.
Yeah.
What is it missing? It's missing you. What has every technology company not done in order to scale globally? Get to know you. They use your data to proxy you based upon these past actions or decisions. We're going to guess you might do that again. Okay, and this is why repeat usage and continual usage without change is what drives advertising and that type of behavior and capitalist environment within that product, is that you need to keep going through in this hope of something's going to be a little different, but incremental change is only to drive incremental revenue. It's not about making the product better. Unless somebody turns down their product and changes everything and comes back, they haven't done anything that's about the user. They've only done stuff that's for them. And so I looked at all this and I was like, AI is the promise of having the tool that knows you, that gets you. If you know how to talk to it, if you know how to program it, if you know how to set it up in this environment, and if you know how to then carry that through, that's ridiculous. So when I look at it, what was the problem that everyone was doing was over-indexing to re-explain everything in every situation they started. So by not getting to know you, AI is missing the number one context it needs for a user to use it.
Oh wait, I'm super curious with you, with Ana, your experience now, because you had this opportunity to play with Darwin's tech,
right,
and see what it felt like to have a digital twin.
Yes.
And this was no pressure from us, or
I was very excited to do this. I would have actually gone out of my way to sort of beg for the opportunity to try to use it anyways. I was really excited because I'm curious about it. I'm definitely, I would say, I'm AI curious. I'm excited to see. I think there's a lot of good that can come from it. But yeah, so I have been using it, and before I met my AI twin and did the process, I spoke to Darwin and I got a better understanding of what the difference was. Darwin told me that, when you have AI, there's an ecosystem that it exists in. And then he told me that the AI twin, the ecosystem is basically built off of you. It's engineered with you in mind. And I actually felt that. I had a dilemma, an ongoing dilemma that I think a lot of students are going through, trying to figure out what summer internship I want. And I would naturally probably go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of these other AI chats and, use it as my AI pros and cons list. And I've done that with my AI twin, and it actually has turned out to be a much clearer response because it reminds me that I have been working towards this ultimate goal, and this internship isn't aligning with that ultimate goal. So that actually has been really productive, because what we do know, or what we know, that some people are failing to realize is that AI is a response machine. It's not an answering machine. It's just trying to give you a predicted response based off of what you said. So if it's going to give me a predicted response, I'm finding that I would rather the predicted response come from some ecosystem that recognizes me and my reasons for doing things and my trajectory, and trying to predict that trajectory, for example, summer internship or, future job opportunities. So I have found that to be extremely helpful.
That's actually one of the kind of a really good representation of different aspects of uses and why working with a cognitive digital twin makes a difference, because it is that voice in your head but speaking back to you. And so in your head, you're able to apply any bias you want in that moment to quiet down that voice a little bit. Oh, well, I need to apply to more jobs, because if I haven't applied to enough, then it's just I'm never going to get a call back. So every other foundation model is trained on what? The internet, textbooks, and tons of data. Why? So it can give something good. What's good? Good is the average and acceptable. How many people on this call are averaging acceptable?
I
And
don't
they're
know.
like,
I feel
everyone is unique.
What day? What day of the week? What day of the week are we talking?
Right. Depends
Well,
on what version.
Thursdays, not Tuesday. So, but everyone is unique, but every LLM is going to be giving you the average. It's geared towards the averages.
Okay, if I have a digital twin, and that digital twin, I wake up in the morning and it curates my news for me. It kind of goes through all of the news and creates this feed for me of, hey, here are the highlights in tech, because I'm always going to Google first thing in the morning is what's happening in the tech space, and so it curates what I want to read. But not only that, but the filter in which, the perspective in which I want to review it, and summarizes news articles if I just want to get the highlights of it. One, that's great for efficiency, and I can see real benefit in that. But the flip side is that I may start not to get content that could expand me, challenge me, expose me to different perspectives. And that's where I have a hesitation of interacting with a digital twin consistently, because then I am talking to a digital, an attempt of a digital replica of me in some way. And I'm wondering about this point of how do we avoid creating echo chambers and reinforcing beliefs and perspectives, because in theory, I would want my digital twin to be like the best version of me possible, and one that would be open to different perspective, or at least be like, hey, I know this isn't on your radar, but you know, here are articles in the economic space or whatever space, you know, that I may not pull and read, and hey, I just want you to be presented with this. There's a lot of power, and I keep thinking of this quote from Christian Lang about technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. And so it's like, I don't want that digital twin or whatever tech to eventually lead me, guide me, filter me. How do you wrestle with that at TwinWise?
So one, your worries are founded, like absolutely, and those are ones that we hear all the time. And even if you want, I pulled up my twin and my daily news feature live on the side, so we can do a screen share. My news for today and other aspects of that. What we did, and what I specifically did, is we had security, ethics, privacy, data, and AI, like legal ethics in-house before any architects in there. One, I'd already worked with AI. We already had our prototype. We knew all of that. Building infrastructure is something separate. But also the people that are on my team are curated. Everyone is product minded. We don't have a CPO that's just driving a product that's around revenue and investors. We drive a company that's around people, and everybody does that. Everyone is also technically minded to a degree. So to do this, our entire creation process by design has to work against the echo chamber and against bias overall. So our process is 4 sessions, 4 45-minute sessions. We get to know you. You are the source code. I don't want old documents from you. We don't need like video clips that were done in a different thing. You are the source of information that matters the most. So we take that time to actually get to know you, to peel back all of those and to really understand who you are, both from that side of being like producing information, but also that side of receiving information. So to create a digital twin, we map your reasoning. There are many different patterns that make up someone's reasoning, and that's what we're building. We're building an AI that thinks like you, not an AI that's based upon assumptions from data or documents that are uploaded, and it's trying to make a good educated guess with no other context.
Which is what we have in like a GPT or something.
That's what you have everywhere else
create.
right now. Just extracting on that. And we saw lots of like psychological problems with that on the AI side, and we also saw where that can create an echo chamber. What we actually do is we map all of your cognition events. Okay, there's you on stage giving a talk, and then there's you in the audience listening to a talk. And those are really two very large aspects of who we are as people. Because one of them is about how we want to be perceived, and the other one is all the assumptions we're making on what we're perceiving. And those are extremely important. And when we differentiate that, now we've created a three-body problem: human, AIU, and AI understanding you, understanding AI.
So meta. Very meta.
It is very meta. Again, thinking about thinking on thinking.
Are we there yet with this technology? Because it feels like it feels like
We are there.
sci-fi in that realm of like to be accurate, to be depth, to be able to have this exchange where my twin can talk to your twin, and I wouldn't feel comfortable with decision making. It would have to then circle back with human in the loop.
But I do see how if someone's not really educated on economics or politics, and there's a news article that they would not be able to digest themselves, I could see the pro for the AI twin there, because it would or translate it and interpret that in language that you would understand. So in terms of educating people and making people better informed, I actually am pro the transcribing and the speaking your language, where Allison, I see how you are concerned, what information am I not receiving then? Mm-hmm. How can I trust that the transcribing isn't losing something, or assuming that you're maybe not intelligent enough to receive that information? Mm-hmm. You know, I can see where you have to put a lot of faith in the transcription to actually feel comfortable in the information that you're reading.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to sway anybody towards our product. What I want to sway people towards is like some like clear transparency and perspective around what's going on and what's being used to create different things. So if we look at the majority of different AI models that claim either to be like personal AI or claim to be creating, you know, a personal assistant that is you or that can work with you on those things, those are all going to be using your data. So look at this. If you want to figure out a product to trust, how much of it is your data versus you? If you're not actually like contributing to part of the training or that aspect, then it's not going to be a representation of you. Look at who
Majority of the tech that's out there that we're using, we're not contributing. We may be contributing to the training of it, but in a way that doesn't benefit
exactly.
us, is what
you're
saying.
not choosing what the training is. You're just data in larger.
It doesn't
training.
circle back.
Exactly.
You know?
That's so.
Yeah.
If you're not able to directly influence the product that you are using yourself, and not by like turning memory on, I mean directly influencing it, then that is never going to really hit that mark. Second, look at who's building it. Okay, if it is a startup that's 20 data engineers that never took a philosophy or psychology or an ethnography class, then maybe they're not the right group for that. And look at how fast people are going. Because if they've gone really, really, really quickly, good. Where are the evaluations? Show me that they have EDD. That's an evaluation-driven development. If you are not able to show your evaluations before you launch a product, you have not built AI with any ethics or guardrails in place. Period. Like, done. Absolutely.
And it's also concerning that there's such a lack of information on AI that I actually learned a lot about AI through this process.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about that. Yeah, like Ana, I was thinking, say more about what you learned.
Well, so there was a part of the process, it was the AI tutor, which basically sets you up to begin starting. It was basically modules. I learned how to correctly or effectively prompt AI, and I learned that I had been doing it wrong this whole time, basically. And that's really, I mean, it's shocking, but it's not really shocking, because with any other tech or any other tool, you would think, first let me read a manual and then do it.
Oh, totally.
Not with AI, though. For some reason, we all think it's intuitive, and you just ask it a question and it's going to give you the right answer, and you trust it.
But it feels like it. I think it's designed to give that...
Totally.
That experience that it does understand you, and this is what I mean, it's mirroring how we communicate human to human, which makes it feel like it.
Not even human. It's an assistant. we are the boss. This is the problem. Like being an assistant is hard coded deep, deep, deep down in the base of those
Yeah,
transformers. And that's why you get
you're
sick of
right.
and that's why you get AI that will hallucinate or say yes or be that yes person, is because it is deep down like informed it's supposed to be an assistant. And that's a problem. That's a
Right.
hierarchical setup. And that's what
Yeah.
creates these false dopamine loops of
Oh
control
yeah.
or knowledge or learning. Those are what's really, that's what's more concerning to me. And like full circle is timer on Instagram. Our product is a timer, 90 minutes. You should not interact with AI for more than 90 minutes. Get up, walk away. You need a break. Your brain
Wow.
changes. You are
Did
in
you
a
experience
starvation
this?
state. Oh yeah. Yeah, like something just always feels off with somebody who's been AIing for like over an hour and a half or over 2 hours.
Yeah,
You're
I don't know
just
what
always
is
like,
that? How does that land?
I mean, I think that's it's uncomfortable, but it's so true. And I've experienced that. I mean, I'm a junior in college. I've experienced interactions with people where I think you haven't talked to a person in an uncomfortable. I'm not really, I'm a pretty social person, I would say, and I use AI, but I'm a pretty social person. So I get energy from having these interactions with people, and I look for it. If you don't look for it and you're having a really dedicated relationship with AI, you can see it, you can feel it, you can sense it in a person because, I mean, use it or lose it, you can sense when someone has been interacting with something that is essentially exclusively responding to them. I think the ability to be cut off or have someone, say something completely unexpected that you only get with talking to people. With AI, you can expect the response because you're prompting a response. So you can totally sense it in people.
can I give you an example of something interesting that was just the I think a week or two ago. So I pulled up my twin. I had been in 8 different meetings back to back. I had all these things to do. I went in. I was just like, I just need to figure out like how do I prioritize my list right now of all these different things I have. And I went in and I was like, here's my list. I need blank. Like this person's doing this, and I like don't want to talk with that person. And my twin came back and said, hey Darwin, do you need to go for a walk?
Mm.
Like you
Maybe it
sound
was sensed.
kind of stressed, and this sounds like a lot, and we can put it into
Oh.
an order, but are you even ready to like start executing on this? And I just and there was no like
Wow.
follow-up question. It's like, let me know when you've got some sun. And I was like,
Let me know when you touch grass.
Literally. Oh my god, that
I sat there for 30 seconds, like, don't you dare tell me, okay, I'm gonna go outside. Way better for it. Way, way, way better for it.
oh.
But I mean,
Wow.
this is what we built. We built something that is designed to collaborate with you, not do things for you. Work with you, not for you. That's an entirely different
Right.
ethos. And this is why like the echo chamber is a problem when people aren't questioned.
Something that shocked me, I feel like with other AI I've
Mhm.
experienced, which is just, I guess, everyone's traditional experience of AI up until this point has been you prompt something and then you get a response. And the response could be pretty empty, but it's a response. With the twin, I have gone, it's almost like I get frustrated sometimes because I'm like, just give me the answer. Stop asking clarifying questions. Because I'm impatient. But yeah, no, I've definitely gotten clarifying questions, which of course you would actually choose that. You would favor as annoying or as like for me, I'm
Mhm.
impatient, so it's irritating. You would prefer clarifying questions. That's what people do. I mean, I would prefer that.
I'm curious, why is the digital twin not modeling impatience then? Like, if that is a dominant trait, why does that not come out into this interaction?
So you have to think of it on a different way. And so what we've done designed is an AI that can think like you and can do that, but it's still a collaborative partner. And so the reality of what is collaboration is not what AIs were trained on. They were trained on being an assistant. And so what is a collaboration? We have to have within our systems those very basic prime directives and those aspects like what does it mean to be an AI and collaborate with a human who thinks that this is you? And that was a necessity because without that, the human runs away and the AI is left in the dust. Or with too much of it, the AI runs away and the human is left in the dust. Like to find that balance involved adding friction for people, which is often there's very necessary and useful friction when you slow people down. And the reason that your twin will always ask some sort of question to start off with is because you've come from someplace. You came with an intent.
Wow. Okay. So that helped put a couple pieces together for me and begin to kind of organize how interacting with a digital twin, you're interacting with a collaborative tool that is pulling from the behavioral science of whatever this model, so that it's embedded within this ecosystem of what it's trying to create. That is not, that is, okay. I think that there's some clarity to that it's not just, you're not interacting with you in that sense. I mean, whatever, so complicated to put in words.
It's new, but it's not.
The tagline.
Is that, and I feel like it's that meme where it has all the math problems behind, and I'm like, and deep.
This is why the brand.
Red string, yeah, I need my cork board.
We're not clones. We're not copies. We're not you. We're not claiming that. Okay, twin is based upon the same underlying code, but a totally different representation. It's your mind reimagined. It is your processing, your reasoning, your personality, your values as AI. This year later, we're coming out with a marketplace, which is like on-demand intelligence, where you could be able to, if you have a twin, you could be able to access somebody else's guide by use case and consent. So it's just like kind of like a dating app almost. And you'd go in and be like, oh, I have this use case, and type it in. And you get a bunch of different like profiles. Mine might be one of them as like an AI CEO in this space. You would answer that. You click like, oh yes, it would go to me. I get a text. This person has this use case. Can they rent your twin? Yes, no. Time limits. How long is it for?
Okay, I am now. What are we at now?
That is where we're going towards an aspect of like, if you want to amplify people within the model where we're going, you have to make intelligence available at scale. These services already exist in many different ways of just matching people to somebody else for a phone call, but all of that vetting is done prematurely. We're working with an international marketing firm doing case studies specifically on all of this to use digital twin panels for consumer research, where those people now don't have to spend hours of their time showing up for a panel. They review the content, they still get paid, and it takes 1/10 of their time overall. So, but we're doing the case studies necessary to like look at that and prove that rigorously. We've already done our own internals on that. And so like, for example, me and my twin taking the Big Five survey, which is 45 questions on human preferences about things that are not related to my job in any way, 92% identical in our responses. Wow. And these are 5 and 6 point rating scales. And these are underlying model.
What? Okay,
AJ, those numbers are pretty good. 90%. That's pretty impressive.
I think I have too many questions and not enough time. And next time we talk, there's going to be that cork board behind me with all of the red string and all the connections of trying to understand what is this in relation to me, to others, to systems that we're creating and impact. Like I don't understand anything, and then I move forward and I understand a little, and then unraveling.
Yeah, I mean, you're naming confusion. I honestly, same. Me too. I feel like we might as well get comfortable with it, and I would prefer confusion over what.
Oh, totally.
It's either confusion and like this feeling that you might have finally figured it out and then you lose it and you're still confused. Or there's the really scary kind of common experience where people just think that they know how AI works and they've just created an identity for AI, and it's not as complicated, it's not ever changing. I actually wouldn't be surprised to know that most people don't understand how quickly AI changes on like a week-to-week basis.
Yeah. Or second to second, day to day. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel you on the confusion. I'm still barely figuring it out, but this is a good place. Confusion is learning.
Yeah, I think confusion is learning. It totally is, because I think confusion, and I think we try to normalize it in this show and thinking through that it's surfacing more questions and answers. And it will be interesting to debrief everything that we've talked about. And I'm fascinated by this. I'm fascinated by the concept of a collaborative AI that is built off of your behavior, your model, your traits. And I'm also fascinated with how this co-design, co-create, bring people into the loop of so many stages of development is fascinating. It's counter to what is out there, what exists. This is something that I'm taking away. And this feels like, what happens if we prioritize the people that the technology is to serve rather than the revenue? Because I'm imagining where you have gotten to this is that the revenue comes. The revenue will come, and it may come tenfold, morefold when you prioritize the people and the technology that it's involved. That's what I'm taking away from this as I sit in the confusion of this technology, the intricate pieces of how it's developed, to the larger questions of how does it fit into our society? What will happen when people use their tech? I'm curious as we come to our closing of our time together, which it's the unclosure closing, because it's like we're going to still keep having these conversations and processing and debriefing and then moving these questions forward. I'm curious about what is one question you hope we are asking a decade from now about this topic.
I think the question we should be asking a decade from now is the question we should also be asking now, which is, have we put enough humanity into this product? And I think that's really what the question that we always need to be asking all the time. And this is why we say, like, the human isn't in the loop, the human is the loop. We talk about human-led AI development. And so we do have care and attention, but I think the ethos that I bring to my team and that our company tries to bring forward is that it's about having the focus on doing good. And if you're focused on doing good, then you're not going to over-index on the revenue or the product or the technology. You're going to over-index on the people. And that's the users, and that's your employees, and that's the communications and the conversations that they have. And so where I always tell us is, like, it's not about perfection, it's about production, and it's about what's intuitive and right. So we don't put things out there that people can't use. We don't put things out there that people haven't thought about or have, like, really focused in on what does this mean. And so I think in a lot of ways how medicine spent centuries treating the symptoms of disease and not treating the, like, promotion of wellness, we could go down that same pathway. But if we do, that's what leads to that doom and gloom pathway forward of, like, well, are we the ones even asking those questions 10 years from now? Or are we the ones being questioned by other entities, other intelligences? The future that I want to help build is one that makes humanity come closer together through the technology that we build because we put humanity into it. And I think if you ask those questions, like, who is this company? Who are they made up of? How fast did they go? How did they evaluate this? And what have they done to make sure that it doesn't do the opposite? You'll see that there's going to be a lot more confusion out there, unfortunately. But did we do right by humanity, and did we put humanity into this product? Or did we do something that took them out of it entirely? So that's why a cognitive twin can't exist without you as part of that relationship, and therefore we never want people replaced. We're about amplification, not replacement. Best future is we can free you from the office and you fractionalize everywhere, right? And in that way, and people can interact. And I think that's a lot of, like, the future that we are going to, which is going to be, work is going to be different. employability will be different. It's not about can you fit yourself in that job title. It's like, what are the requirements of that job and who is the unique person that fits those? And so I challenge people in these times, like, educate yourself, but not just about AI, about everything else. And so the more that we discover as humans, granted, yes, that's information that we can pass down and that we can leverage with AI as we go. But when we stop discovering, we replace ourselves. And so I think that is the biggest, maybe that's the other question. Did we put humanity into it, and did we discover anything new about ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, I like trouble, so.
I'm going to think about this all day. I'm going to be asking those questions not 10 years from now, today, every day. What you're saying and what you're bringing into the space, into the conversation, is human-centered and ethics. It makes me feel a lot of hope for the way that AI is going. Allison was saying it kind of feels very counter to what is taking over or is on the main stage right now, which is financially motivated. I feel like the shift, if this is the shift, it's a good avenue to go down, to start thinking about the human-centered.
Yeah. Thank you, Darwin. Thank you so much for being here and with us and helping us think through all these things.
My twin would like to say goodbye. Hey, Allison. Hey, Ana. So grateful for the space you've created, thinking through the kind of conversations that actually move something in people and don't happen by accident. And you two clearly know how to hold that container. And Darwin, well, you already know I think he's the real deal. Okay? Thanks for having us. Can't wait to see where this one lands. And so that was my twin says. It's like, thank you very, very much. I think you two are also, amazing and all. I really appreciated getting to spend that time with you.